I'm Ariel.
And I'm Becca.
And welcome to Wine Wednesdays.
Hennessy on my lips, take a little sip, privacy on the door, I'ma make this shit grip. Icy.
I'm Ariel, and I am the owner of Ariel Ashton Events and Ashton & Co. I first got into the industry about 8 years ago, and then Ariel Ashton Events opened its doors in 2018. We've done an amazing job since we first opened those doors. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, started from the bottom.
Literally, and now we're here. So this is my second in command, Rebecca, and I'll have her tell you a little bit about herself.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for a long time, but I started working with Ariel actually as a college student, as an internship, and then it kind of just flourished into this beautiful relationship, and we've just been working super hard to do the best for our clients and just make it such a beautiful, wonderful experience for them.
Yeah, and also build inventory and our teams and everything.
Yeah, we're going to be talking
insane.
about that a little bit later, but our team is like the biggest thing about why we do what we do. We could not do this, just the two of us, and we just love our team members. It's like a big family. So,
It literally is. So why don't you tell them a little bit more about the business?
Yes, so Ariel Ashton Events is very, very specific to the client. I think the biggest question, I don't know if you'd agree, that we get from clients and from people is like, why hire a wedding planner if you have a venue coordinator?
Every day.
Which is so valid because a venue coordinator and an event planner / wedding planner do look kind of the same, and you would think, aren't they the same thing? But we're not. We, personally for our business, we're not the same. We focus specifically on our clients, so as much as we love mom and dad and friends and family, we only want to be the sole voice for our clients, so that we just can make sure they're getting what they deserve.
Yeah, it's their wedding.
Exactly.
Their wedding. The big,
people sometimes don't
literally those two words, and especially when you spell it correctly, but those two words literally are the most important thing. And a lot of times, parents take that leading role in the wedding because they've been at a wedding. I mean, again, think about your parents. I'm sure they're married, or were.
And they want to help.
Sure
It comes from a good place. We love that people want to help, but it's just a really cool and intimate thing that we get to experience with clients, that we get to just work with them. And by no means are we not allowing any other voices, but we can definitely just kind of make sure we're keeping that in mind.
And that client, oriented, mentality that we have here at Ariel Ashton Events, it stems even further than that. It stems even to our mission statement. Our mission statement is that we plan and produce celebrations that are rooted in guest experience, inspired by vision, and complete with experiences impossible to recreate.
Yeah, that's a great word that we love to use, is that we're so unique in that we create those impossible experiences that we can't just recreate. And that's...
Every event is truly different.
It is, and that's what's so exciting. That's what we do, is we have a huge expertise of the industry itself. As we've mentioned, we both have been working in the industry for a long time, so we know how to cultivate vendors, relationships, work with budget allocation.
Oh my God, that is the biggest thing.
It is. It's really important because we can help you negotiate pricing. The worst thing is when you get married and you're like, or you get engaged and you're like, oh my goodness, I have so many vendors to book and I have so many things to do. We can help kind of negotiate that pricing, let you know if it's actually a reasonable price or if they're like totally highballing you at a wrong price. And we just help with all of that throughout the process. And also our biggest thing, which Ariel and I are really, really keen on, is attention to detail. We both are like type A times a million, and so we just want to make sure everything on your wedding day is taken care of. And we always say we don't want you to work, we want you to have the full guest experience.
I consider literally the minute that they move a candle or even a chair, they've just worked their wedding, and that is a big no-no in all of our books. Like, that is a big no-no. Like, you need to be treated like not only the guest of honor, but like royalty almost. And so that's a big thing. We just don't allow them, any of our clients really, to ever work unless they're like,
unless they are dying to.
We just don't allow any of our clients to work at all.
Especially, I will say, the fiancés, usually like the husband, the groom, always loves to try to like lift things and help, and like we love the bride. Of course, it's always about the bride too, but we can't forget the groom, and so we never want them to feel like they have to lift either, because it's their wedding day too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, absolutely, no client, not even the parents are allowed to work on the wedding day. They just have to get to enjoy the day.
Exactly.
And, have a cocktail.
Exactly, that's the most important thing. So we do whatever is necessary. We've dedicated our lives to life, luxury, and of course the most important thing, love. And so we do whatever it takes to make that possible. So we can do that by kind of bending the universe to our will to literally make your day perfect.
I think that's pretty much great, like well said. Cheers to that.
We are back and refilled to get into the nitty-gritty of some of our favorite wedding trends this season. First of all, my favorite trend this season has been the unconventional guest books.
Oh my god.
Which has been so cool. I love how people get creative with guest books so that it's not just a book. My personal favorite is the At the Tone phone guest book.
Oh my god, they're so amazing. Fun. If you haven't heard of it, look it up right now. We're going to put the link in the bio for sure. But they're phenomenal.
It's so cute.
It's like a keepsake that you're going to get to keep, but it's instead of just like somebody writing their name like in every birthday card or holiday card that you've gotten, with a signature, you get to hear their voices. And
it's so special.
And also the turnaround time on that thing is phenomenal.
Yeah, and you just leave it, so it's like an old vintage phone just on your guest book, on your table, and literally you just get to have it recording the whole night, and people can just pick it up and leave a message, and it's just so fun, except when people don't know how to use it.
You have an experience. So while I love the name and I love the, concept, I did it for one of our couples this past year, and I literally was waiting for a tone or a voicemail message. So, I mean, that would be a lot cooler if the couple did do a voicemail and then you pick it up. Yeah, well, the instructions have been put away by my amazing team. So,
but it's fun. It's so cool to see people's voices. So that's been my personal fave. And then I think there are just like some other really cool, like I've seen some, instead of a guest book, people will have like
wall art.
Yeah, I was just going to say like some sort of like art, beautiful thing.
Like it's sometimes they have like the tree that I've seen. Sometimes it's like a big letter, or sometimes it's like even like just like a cutting board with like the crest in the center of it, and then everybody just signs it, and then it gets like sealed or something like that. I mean,
it's so cute. My sister did like a heart, like a wooden heart or a glass heart that you put these little wooden hearts inside. So there's all sorts of like acrylic little things you can have and make, and I just love like the unique customization aspect to it, that you can just like customize it for how you guys are, you and your fiance, and just something to keep and put in your new house when you get married.
Speaking of acrylic, that is seriously making a comeback more than I've ever seen before. From signage to invitations.
For sure.
They're gorgeous. If you haven't seen any of these acrylic invitations, go look it up right now. I got a lady who also does amazing pricing and amazing invitations. And I'll also put her information below.
Yeah, and I just think it's going to continue into the next season.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That's starting at the top, but what's your next favorite trend?
Oh my gosh, the leather and jean jacket, moments, those photos are just phenomenal with their name.
We love a little quick change into a jacket.
Oh my gosh.
So cute.
Especially with how fall has been
I was going to say, with like our seasonal brides, where it's like the fall and winter weddings, it's so fun, and you can... That's actually what Ariel got my sister for her like wedding gift, is like a custom jacket, and I think that's just such a special gift that you can give to someone.
Yeah, and it's actually affordable. People don't believe that it is affordable because it's all custom and it's got like something nice on it, but there's all different kinds and places out there that actually do sell them at a reasonable cost, and it's such a keepsake that no matter what, it's timeless, A.
For sure.
But B, you even said that your sister still wears her jacket all the time.
Yeah, she does. So, and I think it's cool because you have like the edgier brides who can have that leather jacket on, and then you have like a simple jean jacket, or I've even seen like a pearl like white jean or white leather jacket for like a classy bride. So there's just so many fun ways that you can kind of like make it unique.
Literally, I think I'm gonna need like one of each color.
Me too.
For our weddings, blazer.
Everybody leave the country for our weddings. We're gonna have so many jackets, so many outfits.
God bless the vendors. Right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So what is your next favorite trend that you've seen this past season?
So many. I think my next favorite, I think I'll personally do this for my wedding, maybe, but cutting your hair in between ceremony and reception. It's such a cool shock for your guests to be able to just like...
You girl, come on. Who do you think you're fronting? These people? Seriously? You're not going to cut your hair mid
if you have like a
reception.
If you have a hairstylist on site who you trust to either, it doesn't have to be crazy. I mean, I've seen them go crazy. Big chops here. Or you could literally just do like a little trim or like bangs. I don't know, something crazy. The risk is with that you just absolutely hate it. But I think it's for the bald brides who are like really trying to make a shock. It's a good statement. And the pictures are so crazy of everyone's faces when they see them, oh my gosh, coming in. So I think that's one of my favorites too.
Stay tuned. On her wedding day, we'll definitely get a video when she chops her hair mid wedding. I would be surprised. Let me just say that. She takes a lot of, not just a lot of care, but she like loves her hair. So for her to say that she wants to chop her hair, that's definitely risky. But I'm sure it would look good.
Well, thanks. We'll see.
Just keep growing it out and then cut it to that length.
Exactly. We just gotta grow some more.
Yeah.
But what about you? What's your next?
This year.
There's so many.
There truly are. I loved seeing brides actually walk down the aisle solo.
That is such a power move.
You get like such more of a grander moment.
Yeah.
You know, and also your dad could be like sobbing. You know, that is a thing too. Yeah.
I love you, Dad, but
yeah. But also like
no, but it's really cool.
You know, it's women empowerment. Them walking down the aisle by them, like, it's feminism. Like, literally to a T. I know, literally.
Our pink power suit is just giving that.
Yeah, it's like a highlighter right now.
It literally is. No, you're so right. That's such a cool trend, and I actually like haven't seen that. She's had some weddings with that. I haven't seen that for my personal brides, but I think it's such a cool move to just show like that all moment, and also your dad can experience you walking down the aisle and seeing you. That's a cool way to see it.
It's also good too if like you have divorced families and that divide, and then you're not like selecting one person for like to walk you down the aisle or making it awkward where you have to hold a bouquet and then have two people on either side of you. But it just makes it like easier for the bride and the groom too.
It is, and that's another point that we're gonna do on another episode is like the politics of wedding planning, because it can be really hard. But we'll get into that later. Gosh. But that's a good point. But yeah, I think that's like a really cool. And walking down solo is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. So what other ones do you like this year?
I think bridal party. So this one's kind of strange, but I had never heard of it until this season, but bridal party switching sides.
Oh my gosh,
so the bridesmaids, you know, usually your bridesmaids are standing along next to the bride, groomsmen with the guys, in certain ceremonies where it's not in a church, but it's flipped. So, excuse me, your bridesmaids will be seeing you as the bride, and they'll be on the groom's side, and the grooms are on the bride's side, so that you can see your significant friend actually go through the ceremony. Like, because, let's be honest, you're sitting next to them pretty, but you can't see their face when they're reading the vows and going through it. So it's cool to have that, like, switched view to actually see what you need to see.
Even having them also on the both sides, that's also a trend as well.
That is a
like intermixing them.
Yeah, having, like, each... That can get political, though. We'll talk about that. You know, choosing which one. But it's just so cool. I think, like, there's a lot of ways that we've kind of shifted from that traditional wedding aspect, and we've seen it a lot this season, and I think it's cool to have just a different perspective to that.
And to build on that also, like, we've been having parents of the bride and grooms switch sides. So normally, in the past, you know, it was traditionally they were on, you know, one side and the other side. And literally we've had them flip because the view is better. And actually, from personal experience, when I went to a wedding, I was a part of the groom's side that I was as a guest, and I sat on the bride's side, and I'm telling you, I got the best photo of the day, and that's with like professional photographers. I'm not even kidding you. She literally, it was on the save the date, in the thank you cards, and it was on her profile picture. So I don't know. I mean, from a I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but
I'm gonna. No, but seriously, it's a really cool thing. So yeah.
And then also another one is pearl everything. Oh, everything. Pearls.
Go wrong with pearls.
Literally.
Speaking of, we have a tree over there that's pearl. We'll show it.
It's twinkling, yeah.
But pearls are just so classic. And there's different ways you can incorporate them, right? Like, it doesn't have to just be pearl everything.
So when it comes down to if you're purchasing a veil or gloves or anything pearl oriented, keep it simplistic. Keep it simple. Don't get them too many pearls all together because they do fall off.
Yeah, and you want to look classy and timeless without making it, like, too much. But, yeah, that's a really fun one. And another fun one that I've loved is your seating chart being take a shot, then a seat. I think it's such a fun way to have your guests who love to drink like us, be able to kind of participate in their seating chart and like take a quick shot, and you can actually like build these really cool walls that hold all the shots. And I mean, a shot, it's not like it's a bottle of champagne per guest, so of course it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's still reasonable for the brides and grooms that want to be more fun about it.
Even just like the seating chart with a drink attached to it, I think that's great too. It also helps the bartenders out a lot too. And I've seen a lot of that actually on arch signage, which brings me to my next trend that I'm obsessed with this past season, was the multiple arched types of signage that we saw this year. From welcome signs to seating charts to, I think menus were even put on them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or signature cocktails too.
Signature cocktails. Just the amount of signage that we've seen this year that's been like so unique has been amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, tell us about our last few that we got here.
Yes, we're running out of time, but we have to get into our private first dance. Or last dance. We'll kind of combine the two. So your private first dance is really, really cool. You can also combine that with like a reception grand reveal, but basically it's a chance where your wedding planner or someone can hopefully have a chance for you to let your DJ know, and you can kind of come into the reception space before your guests do.
That's also a grand reveal.
To see the reception space. But to just have that private moment to like take everything in before your guests roll in. We like to think of, you know, your wedding days as Christmas morning. Everyone rips it open so quickly after you've spent so much time preparing and wrapping and making everything beautiful.
Yes, yes. But also, even it steps even further than that. I'm going to elaborate on that if that's okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to a private first dance, think about, would you want somebody in the background of your photo on your wedding day in this color? If the answer is yes, more power to you. But if the answer happens to be no, you don't want somebody in fuchsia or highlighter pink.
Or weird patterns or something.
Oh my gosh, yes, that too. In the background, I highly recommend doing a private first dance.
Yeah.
Over doing a private last dance. At the end of the night, you're not going to look as good as you did in the beginning of the day.
It's more for like your special moment if you want it, but not for like
but also, like, again, it's definitely a cute shot at the end of the night.
It can be.
But like, if you're in like me, like, I'm going to be busting a move on the dance floor. And there's no way I'm going to look anywhere near how good I looked at the end of the night as I did in the beginning of the night.
Exactly. And like we were kind of saying with like the traditional wedding timeline, if you will, I think it's just expanded to kind of give you an opportunity to actually enjoy the certain parts of your wedding whereas it normally you would just walk into your reception and sit down. Now you can actually take that break to look at your space, have that private moment with your significant other, and get some really great pictures to put in your home, because like Ariel was saying, those are a lot of things that you frame, and you don't want to frame
Oh my God,
Janine in the back with.
I'm sorry for this, but now that we've pointed it out, you're probably going to go look at every single first dance photo that you can imagine, from Pinterest to like your own personal albums and things like that.
Unless you're a photographer.
I'm really sorry for the faces that you may see or the colors that you may see in those backgrounds.
Yeah,
But that's why we're here. We're here as planners to give you the insider tips and give you some of the stuff that normally people don't know necessarily.
I know.
Because that's the purpose of your planner. It's somebody that you lean on, somebody that guides you, somebody that assists you. And they give you their unbiased opinion. Kindly.
Which is needed. Now, speaking of, as we take a sip, what's your next favorite trend?
Champagne towers.
Champagne towers.
They get really messy, but they're phenomenal photos.
Phenomenal photos.
Phenomenal.
We have out there, we'll try to insert an image, our champagne cart, where it's just like...
It's called the Betty White.
Put in this beautiful formation, and you got your champagne, and you just pour it, and it flows down so beautifully. Makes for the best pictures.
How big of a bottle do you need for that?
Good question.
Like, do you need like one of those gigantic bottles or like one of those just normal large bottles, or can you do like a normal bottle?
Good question. I would say start off with your favorite bottle of champagne, because for the picture you don't want to be carrying like a huge bottle of champagne. One bottle's enough for the pictures, but to actually fill it for people to drink, you're gonna need another one probably.
And a couple of towels too, just in case of any
spilling. It's gonna get messy. We are refilling to go over our last and probably one of our most favorite.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Wedding trends of this season that we have seen the most unique ways for sure.
So, and that trend is the bridal party entrances. Yes. Now, bridal party entrances have really come a long way. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, all we ever saw was just people chugging a shot and
walking in.
Yeah, like it's like almost like Princess Diana. Thank you for being here today.
Or you're awkward and you walk around and you're like,
where's my seat?
Yeah.
Literally. But honestly, bridesmaids and brides, while it is a joining of the groom and the bride, let's be real. The bride and the bridesmaids literally steal the show. I'm sorry. Unless you have the suit that the groom and the groomsmen wore from her last wedding.
That was incredible.
Those were definitely fire. I mean, Louis Vuitton shoes for everybody.
Hermes custom suit.
And with the silk and stuff, I mean, like literally top notch. Probably one of the most fly bridal parties I've ever seen in my life.
Very bougie and fun.
But normally it's the bride and the bridesmaids that are stealing the show. And I'll let Rebecca talk a little bit more about some of the entrances that we've seen and how definitely they have stolen the show. But on the contrary, I've seen groomsmen from their entrances, like just even walking to go get dressed. Like a lot of groomsmen have done like the NFL, like game time, like entrances where they're like,
getting ready.
Literally.
Yeah.
Even into the reception too, when they go in as a group and it's like something that it's choreographed enough.
It is.
It's not like too much where it's like
unnatural and weird.
They're like 1, 2, 3, literally counting their steps or anything like that. But they've they've come like full circle.
Yeah, I've seen some really cool ones this year. Especially what makes it so interesting to me is that sometimes you might not know who you're paired up with for the bridal party, and it can make it kind of awkward. You don't want to like walk in, especially if you have a significant other and you kind of feel uncomfortable like hand in hand maybe with them. Like it can just get a little awkward. And so I've seen scooters. People come in with scooters. People come in with mini cars. Like
oh my god, that was my favorite.
Little cars.
I never got one, so like literally to be able to drive that one out of the wedding was probably one of the biggest highlights from this year.
Yeah, so scooters, and we've seen like little cars. We've seen people just like doing a little like football thing, like they'll toss their bouquet to the other groomsmen across.
We've even seen some like flips going on.
We've seen some really talented people.
Bridesmaids doing flips. Let's just make that crystal clear.
Or like
in
splits.
A gown.
Splits or something.
Splits, yes.
We've seen. You don't have to go that crazy, but just like spicing it up a bit.
Make
so that
it
it's
interesting.
Not awkward.
Don't just do a shot of a drink. Keep it interesting. And
make it so unique. Like my sister's wedding, we did the Office wedding intro. I don't know if you've seen that episode, but it's really interesting. And so it was so much fun. It was
a Chris Brown song, right?
Yes. It was so much fun, and with the tissue boxes on the shoes. And I just think it should be a fun thing.
They had a walker.
The walker, especially if you have that mixed company with like you're not sure who your pair is and you kind of feel awkward around them. It can just take away the anxiety.
Yeah, keep it interesting though. These guests want to be entertained.
I want to get
beyond
chills
the decor.
When you walk in. I want to be like, holy crap, I'm watching like a show.
A lot of them though, when I knew they were going to be crazy, I actually, instead of being behind the scenes, got to actually be inside.
That's the thing. It's so hard as wedding planners for us to see all of this that we're talking about. So it is really cool and we're able to fully experience it without being like running around into different directions.
And we rely a lot on the videographers and photographers. So again, from a wedding planner standpoint, I'm sure all wedding planners would agree.
Yeah.
But, have your photographers and videographers, I guess last tidbit, have your videographers or photographers share your content. Because that's not only maybe a topic that we would discuss, for like those literally like balls to the walls types of weddings or like out of the box
memories.
Or literally.
Yeah.
But also, to show other clients and other brides and grooms and, what the trends are and what's out there and what people are doing to get their creative juices flowing.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so interesting, Ariel, is that we want to collect all these memories and experiences to give to our future brides and grooms to show them that, like, hey, this is what you can do to make it unique. Here's what you can do that maybe didn't work out so well. Here's how we can redo this to make it work well. And so we kind of take all of those experiences and, customize them to who you are and your love story.
Absolutely.
We hope that you enjoyed our first Wine Wednesday, and there's going to be so many more to come. We're going to be doing not just wedding trends, but we're going to be doing like little workouts. We're going to be doing little DIY crafts. We're going to be doing just learning about who we are and how we can learn more about you and what you'd like to hear from us. So feel free to leave feedback and let us know, but thank you so much for joining us.
And stay tuned and subscribe.